My name was Judy Seder, S-E-D-E-R, originally from Boston, Massachusetts. That word is the word that English speakers, or the spelling that English speakers use for the celebration around Pesach. At every Pesach time, families sit down to the Seder. My father's grandfather, who came from Lithuania, we're talking back in the late 1800s, came to the United States and started a family. My mother came from a Russian Jewish family. Her father came to the United States in 1905. He was from Odessa, and that was the time of pogroms in Odessa. My husband's name is also interesting. He came when he was 2 years old from Bulgaria to Israel, and his name was Nordia. Nahar means river, and Deya means ideas or something like that. It was the name of a very famous place in Babylon, and the Jews were in Babylon for a very long time. And then Cyrus freed them, and they came back to Israel. And after they came back to Israel, from that, the Babylonian exile was when they founded the Second Temple and when they wrote the Bible. When Cyrus freed them, a good proportion of them stayed because it became a center of Jewish thought, and the Talmud was codexed in 900 AD. So there were Jews there probably for a very, very long time writing, and maybe this Nahardea was meant to impress people with the flow. Inhabitants or living in Israel and moving out of Israel and back to Israel, and all those stories have to do the flow. Some people would call it oppression, some people would call it anti-Semitism, some people would, I mean, you can name it with all kinds of different names. It's the contention. I do say at Pesach, it brought us out of the land of Egypt, but I didn't come with the feeling that I was coming back to anything. I came as a volunteer in 1967, decided that I was going to live here. But I do have a very Jewish background, conservative, Orthodox conservative and Reform, and I was part of the Reform temple. There was prejudice. There were fraternities and sororities in the Midwest. They were very big then, and somebody from one sorority came to me and said, we're the only sorority that permits Jews. I haven't thought about that, whether that experience actually influenced me in the other way, because I was just, at that age, you're just involved in what's happening. But Beit Zera was very special in that way, that there were Holocaust survivors from every place you can imagine. Every possible avenue of European life. There were people who had been in camps. There were people who had escaped somehow through Russia and come all the way down through Syria and so forth. Okay, so in my life in 1967, if you remember your history, the Six-Day War was only 6 days. However, there were 3 weeks, 4 weeks before that when there was a standoff. It was in the Straits of Tehran. I realized they were looking for volunteers. So that when we first came, they didn't know what to do with us. The war was only 6 days. They didn't need anybody to put together things, so they sent us to Arad. And we were on an archaeological dig in Arad. It was an amazing experience. And then the country didn't know what to do with all these people who'd come to volunteer. So the Kibbutz movements got up to bat. They took the volunteers and they gave us food and a place to live and stuff like that, but they didn't pay us any money. It's very nice because the people want to do this. I like Kibbutz, and I met my husband there. We were the founders. From the things that I've seen from the Ark, you're trying to say, okay, that happened. We're not going to deny it, but we don't want to identify with it. So I think that's a brave thing. I mean, I just watched a program about the history in Israel and the archaeology that they found. Nobody in Israel denies, scholars don't deny the influence that Jesus Christ had in the land of Israel and with the people as a prophet and as a leader. So nobody's really sure what the ark, the philosophy of the ark, if you don't mind my saying it. I mean, I would say from my point of view, you're doing it in a way that is so pleasant that I think people are not denying you an open door. I think that you have done this above and beyond by sponsoring people from the Holocaust, by having meetings about the Holocaust, sponsoring a one-to-one relationship, a group where they could talk to each other. You're right, it's not simple, especially to someone like you who doesn't want to skirt the issues. I mean the ark, the things that I've seen about honoring Holocaust survivors means you don't want to skirt the issues. And I went a couple of years ago to a Sukkot at the Ark place on Beit Zera, and people came to me and said, "I'm sorry, nobody's ever said that." So I mean, I'm just on tears today. I don't know how to describe that feeling that we have when somebody says that, but it's not easy to get somebody to go there. I mean, I sort of, I got there.
Practical biblical education and training for Christians around the world, serving the people and land of Israel with unconditional love and an uncompromising faith. Please make your donation today. Your monthly gift is a commitment with us in blessing Israel, blessing God. The Aliyah Return Center.